fellow horror fanatics, and a happy Veterans Day, especially to those of you who have served your country in the United States Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, National Guard, I don't care. This is just a big thank you to all of you out there for your sacrifices, and I'm choosing to honor that with this little countdown of my top 5 veteran characters from horror. Now, the qualification here is that to be a veteran, your service has completed. So there are some characters that you may think should be in this list, but they won't be because, well, they might still be ongoing, like some characters from Walking Dead. Anyhow, let's get it rolling.
Sam Harper, Uncle Sam.
This movie is kind of a guilty pleasure for me. It's a pretty underrated little slasher, in my opinion. Yeah, it's corny as hell. The plot makes virtually no sense, but it's delightfully chaotic. And it's actually dated in kind of a fun way, because this was released so long ago in 1996. And its depiction of like the military and attitudes toward it really is bespeaking of the times in which it was made, which in the current context, it can actually be kind of fun to look back at and realize, wow, that was a different time. Sam, it's really a schlocky gimmick that he wears that outfit. It probably would have been much better to just have him as a zombie soldier on the rampage. But still, I think it's pretty fitting for Veterans Day. On to the next one.
Big Ben from House.
House is, again, kind of a guilty pleasure movie. I mean, it's total 80s schlock. Some of the costumes are actually pretty damn impressive. Others look like they belong on Sesame Street. Thankfully, Big Ben looks pretty damn good. This is the definitive zombie soldier. And the fact that he is played by Richard Mall, who, I've had a soft spot for ever since I was a kid watching Night Court with my parents, and who, by the way, actually has a pretty damn good resume in horror and science fiction of his own to boast of. And I cannot imagine what he went through to put on all that makeup, but he does a great job particularly with Big Ben's voice. Shades of what he would later be doing as Two-Face on Batman the Animated Series. And Big Ben is just such a fun character who's got these great one-liners, particularly when you have that twist ending that shows him as the one who is behind the main character's suffering, who abducted his son, all because he wants revenge for the fact that you didn't kill me with honor. So Big Ben definitely, I think, deserves to be on this list, and thank you, Richard Mall, for that. Next.
Private Hudson, Aliens.
Okay, I might be cheating a little bit with this one, but technically, Private Hudson is a Marine. It's his title. And I think the character deserves to be in this list just because Bill Paxton was so great hamming it up. I think he actually had a good time doing this. This is the kind of role he really was meant for, where he could cut loose. And the fact that, Private Hudson, yeah, he kind of is the comedy coward, but he still has his genuinely badass moments. He can throw down when he needs to. And he really does help the character of Ripley to develop so much further. When the tough as nails Marine falls apart, that's when Ripley steps up. So his character was small but important for the franchise and for the overall story arc. So Private Hudson definitely belongs on this list.
Chop Top, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
There is just so much to love about Chop Top that I think a lot of people tend to forget. He is described as a Vietnam veteran. It is, after all, where he got the plate. And it can definitely be inferred, though it's not stated specifically in the film, I think that, post-traumatic stress played a role in making him what he is. And the character is just a delight every time he's on screen. I mean, yeah, it's cartoony, but I mean, this is a movie about a family of cannibals who chop people up with chainsaws. How realistic do you expect it to be? And they really just went all out to make him as ridiculous, but also as scary as possible. And I think they did a damn good job. And in realistic terms, yeah, post-traumatic stress, that is an issue for veterans that it deserves way more attention than it gets. So we can kind of say thanks to Chop Top for that. And I suppose you might try to argue with me that he deserved to be number one on this list, but I think when you see my top pick, you'll agree there is no disputing it. Because the number one veteran of horror is
Quint from Jaws.
actually the second time a character from Jaws has taken the top slot on one of my lists. But, I really don't think there is any way around it. Robert Shaw gave such a mesmerizing performance as Quint. And it really was an incredible piece of writing ingenuity by Steven Spielberg to make Quint into a veteran who served in the USS Indianapolis. Because in the book, spoiler warning, he's just like a bounty hunter. He's just, a shark hunter that the town hires. Whereas in this film, he's got some real depth. And that monologue where Quint tells us about his past on the Indianapolis and why he began hunting sharks and why he is so traumatized the idea of wearing a life vest is just mesmerizing. And I think part of that is probably owed to the fact that Robert Shaw was pretty obviously drunk during some of those shots, and he was just going total stream of consciousness, but it worked. And so I say there is no denying Quint is the Quint essential veteran of horror. So once again, happy Veterans Day. Thank you to all of you who have served. I hope you enjoyed this list. Eat, drink, and be scary, and I'll see you next time.